Welcome everybody to episode 6 of Wednesday Night Live right here on the Zamplebox YouTube channel. We got one of my favorite guests with us tonight. Matthew Elliott's going to be joining us. Anthony has got some you're going to give us some heads ups on some
Black Friday deals,
Black Friday
on.
stuff, and Tim's got the latest news and advocacy. Look at these guys' papers. Go ahead, Tim.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tim. Give us a pre. There it is. There it is.
There's your paper slam.
I feel like there should be a lot more, more papers, considering all the shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, well, I'm a talker, so I try to keep it in a nutshell.
Anthony, it's COVID. There's a paper shortage, so that's why.
Yeah, it's probably Tim. He's stacking them up. Can't help it though. There's all this news, man.
Yeah, he's got to limit his paper use. So that's 3-4 pages, and was it single spaced?
Yes,
double spaced,
and wait, hold on, and indented with bullet points. Look at that,
fancy.
Damn. He's not holding back.
Yeah, my mom was.
We got a production.
Yeah, let me introduce the guys. Everybody, Tim's all the way over the far right up there. We got Brian down on the bottom left, and Anthony ZB. That's all we know. He's mysterious. No last name. Just
my
ZB.
last name is Box.
Is Box. How's everybody doing tonight, Tim?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm enjoying my new space heater. The one I ranted and raved about last week, so I'm enjoying that. Although it's not enough to really heat up a whole entire room. But
do we have an affiliate link for that space heater this week?
It was an Amazon purchase. I don't know. It's decent. I just
we have to blur it out, considering they're not.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a big pot leaf emblazoned right on the front. No, it's I like it because it has a remote control, so my lazy ass doesn't have to get up and go push buttons.
Yeah, Brian, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad at all, really. I mean, it's pretty nice here. Don't have to worry about a space heater, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
well, because you guys live in the tundra anyway, so
yeah.
You get
Brian's got shorts on and a sweatshirt.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's 20 degrees in North Dakota.
Yeah,
and all of that. Fuck all of that.
And then we got Anthony Box. You're muted.
He's muted. You're muted.
Oh, I'm back. Okay, I'm here. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. I've been brewing up all of these deals. I've been getting all these emails ready. I mean, all these social media posts ready. Black Friday's right around the corner. We also had the Thanksgiving, promotion that kicks off here for a couple days, which people do. People are like, yeah, they're in it for the Thanksgiving promotion. I would think they'd wait for Black Friday, but they want the deals now. So take them. We got them up. We'll have more here coming up in, about 24 hours, 30 hours right now.
Aren't a lot of people running Black Friday specials even before Black Friday?
Oh man. Yeah. I think I saw Target. They're doing Black Friday all month long. I think each week is you could get bikes this week and electronics that week. Yeah. We kept it traditional Black Friday. We'll probably extend it through the weekend. And then, hit Cyber Monday, but we're not going to go full Black month, not yet. Maybe next year though.
That's February.
Yeah.
True.
And then we got Matthew. How you doing tonight, Matthew?
I'm doing all right. I had physical therapy today, so I'm a little sore. I got physical therapy 3 days a week. For those of you who don't know, I was in a car accident in July. Totaled the Mazda, but I'm doing all right.
You're alive.
You're alive.
Barely. Sometimes I wish I wasn't, just because it's you're teetering on that I'm in so much excruciating pain that just fucking kill me. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm still alive.
Are we going to see Matthew doing some hot yoga?
Oh
no! You will barely see Matthew fucking lifting his legs some days. I actually got a brand new bed. Speaking of remote control. I got one of those adjustable head beds.
Oh,
so it's literally just like being in a hospital bed now. I'm like, oh, you know what? I feel like playing video games. Let me just go almost into a full couch position and then bring it all the way back down.
You just need that nurse button. You just need that nurse button.
Right. Just need the nurse button and the nurse.
And the nurse.
You know, I thought about going on, what was it? Backpages? Is that still a thing? But during the whole COVID, you know, maybe I don't want a COVID-infested
you go on Craigslist
nurse coming by.
you go on Craigslist.
No, don't worry about syphilis or anything else. I just don't want them to bring COVID into the house.
You go on Craigslist, you'll find one there.
Yeah.
just stay away from the words hot nurse. Just nurse. Just nurse.
But then you know, like Anthony was saying, shit, you know, company I'm with, you know, we're running a Black Friday sale all week long. Actually, yeah, we're going all the way up to Cyber Monday. We're just like, you know what? We don't really do big sales. We'll do like a 15 or a 25 or whatever. So the owner was just like, you know what? We're going to do a 40% off sale from Monday to Monday. And I just looked at him like, what? We're going to do a 40% off sale Monday to Monday? He's like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? You know, it covers Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I'm like, so we're not doing anything for Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
Yeah.
No, we're just going to do one thing all the way through. I'm like, all right. I guess
it's probably better for logistic reasons. I mean, for the computers and keeping up with codes and a minute,
it's not better for my fucking phone. I'll tell you that much. Because I get email notifications the moment a fucking order is placed, and I'm just like, who is ordering at 3:30 in the morning?
That's what I always wondered. I always wondered about the tech guys that are running these sale things, and just like, why is this person ordering at 4 o'clock in the morning? Don't people sleep?
Like you just wake up and go, you know what? I really wanted to hit that sale and I didn't have a chance to do it yet. And it's like a huge fucking order. It's like a fucking $300 consumer order. And I'm like, why are you doing this at 3:30 in the morning?
It's like the graveyard shift. You know, they're on lunch or something. It's 4 in the morning.
That's them.
Either just getting off or they're on lunch on the graveyard shift.
No, I'm waffling. I'm like, I want it, but my fucking credit card. I want it. Oh, but my credit card. And then
I could understand with like a, you know, 3:30 in the morning would be fucking 12:30 in the morning Pacific time. Yeah. No, this is like in New York. Someone is ordering at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Am I wrong? Am I wrong here? Is not New York City the city that never sleeps?
It's not in New York City. It's on Long Island. There ain't shit to do on Long Island, especially because bars ain't open until they're up to 10, and then they shut off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, COVID has a curfew. After 10 o'clock, you don't get affected by COVID, apparently.
Yeah. Let me hit you guys with. I'm gonna just kind of throw a little different topic in here because I kind of like getting a little bit of everybody. Mix it
up, huh?
I'm gonna mix it up here.
Ooh, spicy.
Ready? What is your favorite Thanksgiving item other than turkey? What are you looking forward to at that table?
Gravy.
Gravy.
She just drinks.
Okay, I'm not even kidding you. If your gravy is not up to standard, the whole meal's ruined for me. Okay, take your time and make a good gravy. Not just throw some powdered stuff in there. You got to make it from the drippings. It's got to be seasoned well. It's got to be the right thickness. You know, it's got to just perfectly sit on your spoon. Gravy. I'm telling you, if your gravy's not good, you're missing out on Thanksgiving.
John in the chat with the classic mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes has to be a thing.
I'm gonna go a little bit against the grain here, and I'm gonna name a common item, but then I'm gonna probably piss some people off right after that.
Oh no!
And so, got to be sweet potatoes, right?
Yeah. With marshmallows.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna piss you off.
Yeah,
I don't
want marshmallows.
I don't want the marshmallows.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I just want.
I'm with you.
Just really
with you, Tim.
With maybe a little bit of a little bit of cinnamon in there.
Brown sugar.
Hold on, you're gonna put cinnamon and brown sugar in fucking sweet potatoes, but you're not gonna put marshmallows?
I don't know. I've eaten it with it, and I'm not opposed to it, but it's like let me give you like
casserole.
Yeah, well, no, green bean casserole is the winner.
I don't do casseroles.
No,
nope.
You don't do casseroles. Do you do
onions, though?
No.
No, sweet potatoes for sure. Mashed potatoes, definitely, and that's usually always there. But some families are hit or miss. With
do you guys like creamy mashed potatoes or clumpy mashed potatoes?
I like clumpy ones. I like the little chunks of potato in there.
It depends. It depends what the consistency of the rest of the meal's going to be. And it also depends on the consistency of the gravy that's going with the mashed potato.
Yeah. Hey, North Dakota, do you not eat Thanksgiving?
Do you think that like there's like nobody that lives here? There's other people that live here besides me.
Don't you know they all go out and share a cow?
Right, but we do have turkeys up here too. Come on now.
Yeah. I thought maybe you guys just like scoured the field and harvested root plants.
There might be more turkeys than people.
Jicama and shit like that.
So so we usually have a lot of mashed potatoes. Anything you can grow, we usually have a lot of. No, I'm kidding. So for me, like with this whole thing, the way my family is my dad actually likes to make pumpkin pie by himself. What he does is like he doesn't like have these ingredients. Like he has ingredients, but he makes it, and then he makes a trial one, and then we'll see if that actually tastes right. Doesn't he figures out what needs to be done and makes another one.
He does it every year?
That's dedication.
Yeah. So what we do is sometimes we always end up with like 8 pumpkin pies. And we share like a week beforehand.
This is the one the family
takes. So like I was up there during the last month during COVID stuff. And when I was up there, he made like 3 pumpkin pies. We ate them all. Okay, when I say we, I say me and him. Okay.
Do you do it on purpose where you're like, nah, Dad, this one's just not quite there.
I'll throw this out. Don't worry about it.
No, like so normally like you usually cut a pie in like what eighths, something like that.
Yeah.
But like he gave me an eighth and I'm like that's it. So he gave me like a quarter of it. I'm like okay, there we go. So then we would have half of it and we're like okay, this is good. But like we're not sure if it was actually good for everybody else. So we made another one. So we ended up having 3 and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have like 4 more. And we have that and whipped cream, probably like my 2 favorites of Thanksgiving.
But man, it almost makes me not want pumpkin pie by the time Thanksgiving comes around.
Funny story about pumpkin pie. Ever since I was a kid, I would make the pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. No matter where I was for Thanksgiving. There has not been a single fucking year that pumpkin pie has come out right. and I will explain. One year, I forgot to add sugar. One year, I forgot to add cinnamon. One year, I added too much fucking nutmeg.
Oh, man. No, that.
One year, the glass above, because there was like, I don't remember what was... Oh no, there was nothing cooking. There just, it was a rush, and I forgot to take the fucking glass tray out of the oven that was above the pumpkin pie. So that shattered, and glass got inside of the pumpkin pie, which I'm 90% sure I followed the entire recipe to par for that fucking pumpkin pie.
Right. All right, Matt, you gotta make a pumpkin pie and just buy one on backup. So then, if your pumpkin pie, if an unforeseen accident just happens,
well, it happened every year. The other year that I made it perfect. It fucking fell when we were taking it out of the oven, and it was all over the fucking floor.
If you would have just made 8, you wouldn't be having this problem.
No, I would have had 8.
Maybe make 7 more.
You just buy the store one and just kind of slip it out and put it in your own tray and make it just look like you did it. Burn the edges a little bit, just.
So this year, what I'm actually really what I look forward to every year is besides everything else that was named, the crescent rolls with butter.
Yeah. I kind of got tired of the corporate like dinner roll thing. Like when you go to like the store and then they have like the Hawaiian rolls and like the 12-pack. No, I want like crescent rolls with butter, like real.
Those Hawaiian rolls are so good, though.
They are.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want the crescent roll too, like the flaky ones. You get the can that pops and all that. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta do like
I want that, but. If you have the Hawaiian rolls, I'm not really going to complain because they're so good. And they're like, how are they everywhere now? Anywhere, I swear, any restaurant just happens to have Hawaiian rolls as a side dish.
Have you ever noticed? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just my family. It's probably just my family because we're not too swift. But have you ever noticed that, like, when you come home with like the leftovers from Thanksgiving, like the ratio of Hawaiian rolls to like all the other shit is like way out of balance? Like you have like way more Hawaiian rolls than you have. Like
never. Actually, the exact opposite. There's never enough rolls at a fucking Thanksgiving dinner.
I told you it was just my family.
Speaking for all the Italians, there's never any bread left.
No,
absolutely no bread left in the house.
I can join you on that one.
Yeah, and the only thing that you have left is sliced bread, white sliced bread.
That's not the same.
You do house rolls. You just do.
Yeah.
So Italians usually do some house rolls, and then you have the sliced bread that just goes with every fucking meal. I don't care what it is. You have the sliced bread
with butter.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, everyone goes for the fucking crescent rolls or the fucking the biscuit rolls, whatever fucking rolls they are. The bread is just like the bread is like those breadsticks when you go to a restaurant and everyone goes for the fresh bread that put butter on and the breadsticks just sit there.
Ooh.
That's what happens with the sliced bread.
My family doesn't do pistachio pudding, but I wish they did.
That sounds really good.
I don't do pistachio pudding either.
All right, before I get hungry, let's start this show.
No, I actually had a legitimate question.
Let's talk vape.
Yeah, I had a legitimate question. On Thanksgiving, I haven't actually had like the deep fried turkeys. Like we've always like the traditional like in the oven turkeys. Who usually do you guys usually have like deep fried turkeys? Do you guys have?
I have never had a deep fried turkey.
Me either.
I've tried it before. It's good.
So
no, it's good.
The thing about deep fried turkey is it goes back to my point. How do you make good gravy with a deep fried turkey?
Yeah.
Come on. You gotta
you make a second turkey for those that don't want the deep fried turkey and you use the
My family deep fried turkey 2 years and it was like, yeah, this is really good. The skin's all crispy. This is great, but we still gotta cook a turkey in the
oven. I can see Anthony at the Thanksgiving table all with his arms folded because there's no good gravy.
Listen, if you don't have good gravy, you failed at Thanksgiving.
All this food
for
on the
last
table.
Christmas, I got a gravy, own personal gravy boat. Okay,
so that just goes in front of your plate.
Yeah. This is just mine.
I brought this gravy from home. Nobody.
There's no gravy lake. It's a gravy ocean that just covers all of Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna have to agree with Big Country on that. Wild Turkey 101 is the best gravy.
Yeah,
if you can stomach it.
Yeah. Oh, that's just all right. Well, as you can see, we have Matthew Elliott here with us tonight from UVA, United Vapers Alliance.
Quick disclosure: none of my views are expressed are the views of the United Vapers Alliance, Vaping Legion, or any other groups I may be affiliated with. These are solely my views and cannot be held against them.
But we can hold it against you.
You can try, but I just don't give a fuck.
So we're going to get started with a couple of questions for you, and I'm going to hit you with the first one.
All right.
Because what's new at UVA and any future plans for upcoming rallies for you guys? Or you guys have anything
Are we waiting for COVID to end, or are we getting rallies soon?
I mean, we had a rally during COVID.
True. That's what I'm saying. Are we?
People seem to already forget about that one.
That was
even
so
though
long
it wasn't the biggest rally ever, but I give a huge
sign here for you.
I give huge props for those that did show up.
He's one right down there.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian showed up.
UVA is doing some stuff behind the scenes.
I'm supposed to set this here tonight. I forgot.
Yeah.
Currently right now, everyone's dealing with their own shit with COVID and whatever. So a lot of the board members and everyone are just kind of like, we're keeping an eye out on things, but there's nothing really majorly public being done right now. But like I said, there are things happening behind the scenes. No rallies that I am aware of, because it right now it would be completely foolish to try to do it. We would be completely like destroyed if we tried doing a vape rally right now. I mean, unless it's a political movement rally, you're getting ignored and told that you're risking everyone's lives.
Well, you can do what everybody else is doing here in California. You can have an outside-inside rally. I'm just kidding.
We could tape off. We could tape off a grassy area with 6-foot boxes.
Because COVID doesn't linger in tents.
That's right.
If you have a tent, you don't linger in there.
The most intelligent virus ever.
Yeah,
it really seems to be.
Yeah,
they only target certain people.
Yeah, I think what it is the restaurants have trapped the COVID virus inside the restaurants, but it's okay to go outside and go inside, and because they have trapped it. They've trapped it, guys. It's trapped.
That's so funny that down in my town here, they actually just put out, like, I guess it was probably a month or two ago now when it was still warm and not raining all every day.
Yeah.
But they put out actually like outside seating where they took out the parking spots in like the downtown area and put it in like a little seating area out there. But, like I said, that was cool 2 months ago. It's way too cold and wet now.
Yeah. Well, let me hit you with my second question, and then the boys got some questions for you.
Oh, boy.
All right, here we go. This is a good one for you. If you were to put together a handbook for beginning vapors and getting started in advocacy, what would chapter 1 be about?
Fuck. What would chapter 1 be about if I was doing a handbook for beginning advocacy? Chapter 1, you are going to make enemies.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Do not be afraid to speak your mind.
Poke the bear?
Poke the bear.
Well, you become the bear in the end. At the end.
I like this.
Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to speak your mind. Remember that 90% of the people that you deal with don't actually give a fuck about the average person. You have to have your stance, you have to have your convictions, and you have to fight for them. It doesn't matter what you believe in, even if it doesn't follow what other people do, as long as you stand by your convictions and you back your stance up 100%.
Nice. And that would be in double space or single space?
I usually do 1 letter per page.
1 letter per page.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We'll do 1 word per page because we don't want to waste paper.
With pictures, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if you're dealing with vaping advocacy, people really only understand pictures.
I think Georgia had a power outage due to everyone voting, and they're recounting the ballots, so we lost Tim there in Georgia.
That's pretty rash coming from someone in California.
Yeah. Oh, I already knew the outcome before the outcome. There was no doubt where the vote was going. Hey, unmute yourself. We'd love to hear you, Anthony.
Oh, they got the West Coast is in light blue over here before the elections even started. Like, yeah, we're just getting
New York.
Color this in.
95% of New York is red. 5% is blue. Well, we're going blue.
Yeah, at 12:01 a.m., they already colored the state blue. Before the election even started, it was already blue.
We had like 35% reporting. Oh, we're blue.
Yeah. Well, Tim was supposed to be next in line for questions.
Well, apparently Tim's dealing with something, so
he's dealing with some mic issues right now. So he said to skip him for right now.
Okay, we're gonna jump right into Anthony.
Yeah. Okay, this is one question that I've asked most of our guests that we've had come on here. But what do you think is the one thing that we could do to get the average vapor more involved with advocacy?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're either going to want to do it or you're not going to want to do it.
How do we spur the people that are on the fence that just don't know? I mean, is it just getting the word out, or is it, you know?
No, it's human. It's human sociology. So what you're going to have is you're going to have the people that are willing to stand up and fight. You're going to have the people that aren't going to give a shit, and you're going to have the people that bury their heads in the sand and think everything's okay. Those are the three people you have. And that person is not transformed. So you're not going to take someone who has their head buried in the sand and have them become an advocate. You're not going to have someone that doesn't give a fuck become an advocate. So really nothing. And the more that people try, the more that people keep pushing, what you see is people turning against it. You know, you push someone hard enough to become an advocate and they're just going to say, fuck you, I don't care. So nothing. We're fucked.
Interesting. I mean, I'd say that's definitely like the most, you know, that's an outside view of pretty much anybody's answers that we have here. So I'd like to go like a little bit deeper on that. I mean, I think that's a really interesting perspective to just, you know, chalk it up to sociology and, you know, not chalk it up to like, you know, maybe we're not approaching it the right way, or, you know, like to me, the one thing that I found effective, you know, which was sad to me, which was the most effective thing that I found to actually get people involved with advocacy was fear. I mean, literally ring them up at a 95% tax or whatever the tax is on the table. You ring them up and you say,
try flavor
it's going to be $45 today, or sorry, yeah, or you literally have so I put a sign on the outside of my shop that said closed, and I would wait for people to come up, see it, the door would be locked, they would shake it, and then I'd open it up and say, oh no, we're not closed, but we could be next week if you don't vote on that. I mean, the shock value and kind of the fear of like, oh wait, I'm not going to get the products. I feel like to me it's the disconnect of they think, you know, well, you know, Washington Advocacy Group has defeated this bill every year, or this other advocacy group has defeated the bill every year. Like, why do I need to fight for it?
That's apathy. So let me ask you this. While you did that, how many people's minds did you change?
I mean, I definitely got a lot more people to make phone calls and to send letters and to show up. I mean, as far as changing their actual mind, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you an example. Right before New York State went into the flavor ban, I had my local shop that I hang out at actually do that. Pull off all the flavored products and only have the tobacco.
Yeah.
And people walked in and went, oh, you don't have anything? All right. And they walked out. I tried talking to them saying, this is the reality that we're about to be facing. You need to call, you need to write. No, can't be bothered. I'll go one more further. Suffolk County, the county I live in, was looking at doing a 25 to vape, 25 to smoke.
Oh my gosh.
A huge percentage of the people who go to the shop are around 21 to 25. And I'm telling them, call your representative because we need this to happen. By the way, there is a hearing on this date. It's on Zoom. It's super fucking easy. Just sign up and go and speak. You could be on your phone in the fucking car. We had 4 people.
Wow.
3 of which were industry related. 1 of which was a smoke shop guy who didn't know fuck all.
Wow.
So when you ask me, how do we get people involved? We don't. 1% of the people who actually fight give a shit. Sorry, 1% of the vapors actually give a shit. Break that down even lower than 1% are the ones that actually do anything. Break that even lower are the ones that actually fight every day, tooth and fucking nail. So, and the reason I say 1% is because if you look at estimated 13 million vapors, you're looking at what, 1,300, right?
Yeah.
So 1,300 actually give a fuck. probably seems to be legit. Break that down even more, and then you have, the ones that try as hard as they can. Break that down even more, and then those are the ones that actually go out and do shit.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, we don't do anything because we've been doing this for over 4 fucking years, getting the same results.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And, I mean, to your point, I completely understand the people that don't get involved with vaping. As someone that was just a smoker and I happened to find a product that helped me quit smoking. Okay, my routine for buying cigarettes never involved half of the things that I've had to do for vaping as far as advocacy. Right. And they shouldn't. They should not. Like, no one should have to be fighting for an adult product to use, especially one that is, helping people get off of cigarettes. Yeah. So, to your point, I understand the people that, aren't going to get out there and, are, just want to use a product that they feel is safer than smoking. That's all they want to do. They want to come in, they want to buy it, want it to be plug and play, simple, and leave and be done. Yep. I can't, you can't blame those people, but, I still think there's got to be, a way to inspire the people that are like the 1%, because if you're not talking to the 100, we're never going to get the one out of that 100 that, does want to, help us and maybe will help us.
Well, the thing that I kind of taking from what Matthew is saying is it kind of shocks me because there's so many of us that are so successful because of vaping, and you think that group would want to preach that, go out and say, hey, finally, we have people that have been smoking 25, 35, 45, 50 years. And those people have tried literally everything up until that point of starting vaping and have been successful. Some of us are 9 years, some of us are 10 years in, and you would think that person that had that success would say, hey, this is something I have to save. This is something, I'm going to have to do something to keep this alive. But we don't see those people. And it's just like, those to me seem like the same people that were like, hey, which always comes up is like, we didn't give a shit what brand of cigarette you smoked.
Right.
We didn't, we didn't go up to the guy, hey, what are you smoking? Oh yeah, that's delicious. But,
right. So also to that point, when you're a smoker, you're apathetic anyway. No one really showed up and fought any things about, oh, you can't smoke inside anymore. All right, fuck it. We'll go outside. All right. Cigarette prices went up. All right, fuck it. We'll buy them.
Pay it.
There wasn't anything like you didn't give a shit because
the only people that did get a little upset were bar people. Bar people were the
even
only
then
ones.
They were just like, all right, so I have to go outside and have a fucking cigarette, then go back and have my beer. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't know whether it's from that being apathetic as a smoker or from people who have caught on too late to the advocacy train, where 90% of the advocates are burnt the fuck out. Advocacy is a fucking so the way to equate this perfectly. If you really want to know what vaping advocacy is like, watch the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
When they are at the Council of Elrond and they are all arguing about what to do with this ring, and it zooms into Frodo going like this, looking at the ring, and you hear everyone arguing and Gandalf standing up and screaming, "You fools, while we argue, Sauron's getting stronger. There's nothing you can do. We'll all be destroyed." Guess what? I'm being fucking Gandalf and saying, while we keep fucking arguing, we're all going to be destroyed because the ants are getting bigger and bigger.
This analogy just blew my mind. That was such a great representation of the industry. I cannot believe how well that scene.
I have Lord of the Rings tattooed around me.
That's the one bicep.
Because it is, we got, our Texas Vapers and we got our California Vapers and our New York Vapers and our Washington Vapers, all these little cliques of Vapers, and we've all been fighting, our different unique battles for each state or whatever. But when it comes down to the national battles, everyone's got their own opinions, you know, and, you know, everyone thinks that their opinion is the best opinion. So it's always such a battle to like walk that line.
Well, I mean, you can go one step further, and I don't know how spicy I want to get. I don't want to get you guys in trouble, but I'm feeling fucking feisty.
Spicy.
You know, we have all these different things going on right now. You know, people are so proud about this this movie that came out. You know, everyone's patting themselves on the back, going, "Hey, we did a great job with this." You know, oh, you should see it. Everyone's gonna, you know, this is gonna teach so much. First off, you're in the fucking echo chamber, so the only people you're showing to are people within the industry that's not going to do fucking jack off for.
Yeah,
they've all seen it.
Second off, the same people that were donating money to this were not donating money to fucking advocacy groups, which means they can't pay their lobbyists, which means, guess what? Flavor bans and high taxes happened. Third off, the amount of people that I saw fucking sucking this movie's dick all fucking week couldn't be fucked to show up to virtual hearings in Minnesota and fucking Loveland County. And guess what? Those are two places that now have flavor bans.
Yeah, flavor bans.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that raises my question, and not it's not one of my questions, but it feeds into what we're talking about. I feel like the people that don't stand up and say much are kind of like sitting back with their fingers crossed, like hoping for that magic bullet. You know what I mean? And
well, guess what? Pray in one hand, shit in the other. Tell me which one fills up.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's like there's not going to be a silver bullet. There's not going to be a vape savior. You know what I mean? It's going to.
And everyone wants to be that vape savior. That's the problem. We have so many fucking advocacy groups and so many people.
That's it. Everybody wants that.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look what I'm doing. Guess what?
Yeah.
You're not doing what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is every single fucking person coming together and showing up in one location making a statement like we did in November in Washington, D.C., the first time with 4,500 fucking people there. Guess what? A week later, Tony Abood, Greg Conley sit down on a fucking oval table discussion, and we don't have a federal flavor ban.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care if you like Trump, you don't like Trump, whatever. The fact that we had representation in the industry show up, argue our case, and we didn't have a federal flavor ban.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too true. Too true, Bill.
Yeah, I don't think we have that sit down if you guys didn't have that rally put together. I really truly believe that. I don't think
so. That's what we need to do. We wanted to fucking stop the PMTAs. Guess what? Every motherfucker needed to be in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
You know, it fucking drives me absolutely insane because people go, "Oh, well, you're just a bully. You just don't like this person." No, I don't give a fuck. Brian fucking Berber showed up to the first rally in Washington, D.C. Fucking Candy King himself.
Yeah.
He was welcomed.
Yeah.
He showed up.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. Is, you know, the people that aren't showing up that are in the industry, you know, they're like, oh, or like, I'm upset at this person, or, you know, I have this issue with that person. When it all comes down to it, do we want to continue to vape flavors? I think so. So you showing up is mending that bridge right there. You guys should, you know, bygones be bygones. We're here to fight the same fight. Let's show up. Let's fight this fight and, you know, squash it or never talk to each other again after we beat it. You know,
right.
I don't see why it's that
Dimitri
hard.
says all the time, we don't have to agree 100% of the time.
Right.
We agree 75%. Argue that other 25% after. We can literally go after each other fist for fist after.
Yeah, and that was another thing. I feel like it devolved into this granular conversation internally with people in the vape industry, and what we're fighting for overall is, do you get to keep it, or are you gonna freaking lose it? And then everybody's starting to slice and dice it apart, and you got all these people arguing in vape groups about whether vape shops should be allowed to do this, or online should be shut down, or 50 milligram Nick salt should be available, and 20. no, right now is not the time to discuss how granular we need to be. It's fight to keep it. Then we'll deal with, other, pick and choose legislation that they want to run with, because now they want to start dissecting it even more. But it just, I had a conversation.
To the table first.
Right. Yeah. I had a back and forth on Twitter today with a guy who just basically was going back and forth with me. And the whole time he just sounded like his hands were thrown up. And I'm like, well, look, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any advice for you. If you want to run for the hills, and then that's on you. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter when the fight's in front of you, you fight. It doesn't matter who your opposition is. You got to keep pushing no matter who it is that you're up against. And he's like, well, then you go yell into the void and let me know how that goes. I'm like, fine.
Yeah, better to yell into the fucking void than yell into the fucking echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe somebody will hear me. So
hold on. I just wanted to get this. Just I forgot about that. I wanted to ask this question earlier, but with the new administration coming up, do you feel that we need the industry only sit down? Do you think that's possible that could happen with Biden? Because something's going to have to be different with Biden in there. So do you think he'll have an industry only sit down? And I mean, not selected people like they did with this last sit down, but an actual owners of selected companies to come out, sit down.
See, you don't get that. You get representatives, you get the advocacy groups. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hate when vaping becomes a partisan issue. I hate when, people say, oh, the Democrats are mainly destroying vaping. Technically, it's true. If you look at the actual, statistics of what places are enacting the worst fucking vaping regulations, it's primarily Democratic. They're not to say there aren't fucking Republicans doing it, and not to say that there aren't some Democrats supporting it. But when you look at Biden, and I'm pretty much very basic when it comes to who I vote for. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me do what I want to do and fucking stay out of my life. When he said, and I don't want people to use he said he would, destroy vaping. No, he said that he would look to the science. Now, there's a problem with that. And the people who are saying, well, he said he would look to the science. Okay, these people have never sat in a fucking hearing when doctors that are paid by the ants go there and lie about vaping. They've never sat through the federal hearing with, I can't remember her fucking name, even though she was wonderful, when she was trying to talk about vaping, and they had all these doctors come on beforehand and say it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And she tried speaking up, and she was wrong immediately. So when it comes to the science, you have to ask, which science are they going to look at? Yeah. Because we have science from Dr. Farcellonis. We have science from the Royal College of Physicians. We have science from the New England the New England Journal of Medicine. We have science from all these studies that are out there. They get ignored. Right. Because it doesn't help with their narrative.
Yeah.
So honestly, and the people that I'm seeing that Biden's looking to instate into his cabinet terrifies me. Yep. He's looking to reinstate the old Surgeon General. Yeah. That dude did not do a single fucking thing good for vaping.
Well, we had Nick Orlando on last week, and he put a chill down my spine with this fact that I didn't know about Biden, that Biden was one of the original sponsors and signers of the Master Settlement Agreement. Yep. Back how many ever years ago now.
He's been in politics for 40-something years.
But just that little tidbit, it makes the hair stand up on my neck.
And remember, the thing about the Master Tobacco Settlement Agreement, it protects those that pay the Master Tobacco Settlement tax.
Right.
If you did not sign that document and you are not a part of that, you are allowed to be hunted down and eliminated.
Yep.
Which vaping is doing.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. Well, I do have one more question for you. We can take it to a little bit lighter now, but I mean I feel like that was a lot different answer than I expected. So I appreciate it because I wasn't ready. That was, I mean, I'd love to hear that different perspective that you bring there on, the sociology of, why people
humanity is weak.
involved.
Humanity is pathetic. They do what they're going to do, and you're not going to change them.
I can't, I can't knock you. But I want to take this one a little bit lighter because I think we're coming up on like the year anniversary almost of like your original viral video, wasn't it? Where the New York rally.
Yeah, so that passed. That was
it was within a couple months, wasn't it? It's like November.
Yeah, it was a couple of months ago. Yeah, that was the original New York State flavor ban hearing, where I went up and quoted Hitler and compared him to Andrew Cuomo. Yeah.
So, I mean, I mostly want to know, like, what brought you there that day, like what was like the last straw where you're like, you know what, fuck it, today I'm making my voice heard, and I'm gonna get my 2 minutes and they're gonna be known. And like, how has that affected you for this past year? Like, obviously we've seen you at more rallies and you've been more involved with the community. I think it's been great. I think you're a fantastic voice to have in the community. So I just like to know, like, how's it been? Like, you were like vape famous.
Well, so here's the thing. I absolutely hate that word, by the way. Here's the thing, because I've been doing that before the New York City hearing. This is what annoys me, is because I've been doing stuff like that. I've been speaking my mind. I've been doing live feeds. I've been doing all of that for the past 2-3 years. And no one noticed. No one, paid attention. Because I look at my timeline, and I see, posts that I made 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's the same shit I'm saying now. So it's like, and so what brought me to that hearing? It was a New York State flavor ban hearing. I've been to every hearing I can go to.
Awesome.
I've shown up to every hearing.
It just happened to be the one that they just got the camera on you. Like,
well, that was actually planned out. People need to understand that. And I don't recommend ever doing what I did, because 90% of the time when you yell at politicians, they ignore you. Yeah. So what was happening was, we did a little rally outside, got some news footage, went inside. They were trying to break us up. They were trying to limit all the speaking and everything. And all of the ants were just destroying us. I mean, they were completely demolishing everything. And they were saying, we don't want to hear about more people's stories. If it sounds repetitive, we're going to skip you. Well, first off, fuck you. That is your right as a New York citizen to
get my 2 damn minutes. Okay, I drove from however far to get here for 2 minutes.
Yep.
At least look at me, okay? Yep. All I'm asking.
That was also the hearing that people were catching the representatives on their phones playing games while people were talking.
Catching them, they do it every time. It doesn't matter what hearing, if it's vape or not, they're literally on Facebook on their phones the whole time.
So I'm speaking to fuck it, it's been pretty much publicized. I was speaking to Greg Conley. I was messaging him back and forth, telling him we are literally getting like destroyed right now. And I'm like, I kind of, we need to make an impact. So I kind of, he said, look, if you get arrested, bailed out, as long as it's, before it's time, before they shut off for the day. So I'm looking at the clock and I'm like,
timing it.
If I get arrested now, they're going to bring me to the station. I'm not going to get booked for another 2 hours, and I'm going to spend fucking Thanksgiving I'm gonna spend Thanksgiving in jail, which my family's really not gonna be happy about. So I said, all right, because I was contemplating flipping a table. I was contemplating, doing something crazy, similar to what I did in Washington State, which then they had extra security at the next hearing afterwards, I was told. And they were looking for me.
Where is he?
Because I basically charged the fucking health committee at in CTAC. So I'm talking to Greg Conley, and he says, you need to do something. So then I'm talking to the Legion guys, and I'm like, this quote's been kind of floating around in my head for a while. And so one of my brothers turns to me and says, dude, if you quote that, I will go take a video of me shitting in the street right now. Which, for the record, you know who you are. I still haven't seen you shit in the street.
We're waiting for that video.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it, because everyone's saying the same thing. They're stuttering over their words. They're not grabbing the attention. So I go up, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking do it. So I message Greg, and I say, all right, I'm going to quote Hitler. And he goes, okay, do what you think is the best way of doing it to get the attention. And so I go up there, and I do the quote, and then I start leading the "We Vape, We Vote, and Flavors Save Lives" chant. And after I was done, they started to the news media started coming towards me, and I started talking about the Master Tobacco Settlement Agreement. I started talking about Campaign for Tobacco Free Kids and Truth Initiative and Bloomberg and all of this shit, and none of it got aired. It's funny how that happens. None of it got aired. So yeah, that was that, and it was funny because that was actually the start. Because right after that, then I had Barstool Sports come up in National Vape Expo.
El Presidente.
El Prezi came hit you up.
I remember that.
Tommy Smokes.
Tommy Smokes. You're muted, Ant.
You're muted, Ant.
And he, he came up to me thinking I was just some fuckboy vapor that he was gonna get a chance to fuck around with. Well, you go fucking learn today.
I brought facts, sir. I hope you have some time. Let me tell you about the preaching the cloud, okay?
So I wanted to hit him so bad, and everybody gives me so much props for not fucking, because one punch would have completely laid him out. Yeah. I'm kind of a big guy, and he's a little fucking dweeb from Nassau County. But I said, you know what? If I punch this kid, he is going to get so much attention, and I'm going to be the bad guy. Yep. Yeah. So I'm going to destroy him with facts, and I'm just going to make him look like a douchebag, to the point that and I made the mistake once it got aired. I made the mistake of reading every single fucking comment.
Oh, Bill, ain't that the truth?
Yeah, we're all anecdotal. That's it. But when fucking teens who can't read their own script speak, it's fucking...
Oh, kids are smoking meth in my bathroom out of vape pens.
Yeah. I wish they would smoke. Just smoke meth if you're trying to get high. Just smoke weed if you're trying to get high. Stay off of the nicotine. But yeah, so I actually... I was talking to Barstool because I was interviewed at the first NVE from Samantha B. And she completely took a 15-minute interview and used 30 seconds of it and made me look like shit. So I learned my lesson about people doing that. And I turned to Barstool and I said, look, get the fuck away from me. This is after the camera's off and everything. They're like, yo, we really want to use this footage. And I'm like, the only way you are using this footage is if you air the entire interview.
Yeah.
Don't cut it. And I had the producer, whoever, was like, yeah, if you sign right here, we will air the entire thing. And they did. They held to their word. But yeah, I made the mistake of reading every Instagram comment because they posted on Instagram.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I definitely took my shots. You know, I definitely felt those. But I saw so many people turning around and being like, "You're being the asshole. This guy's just trying to vape, and you're being this douchebag going up to him." Right. So I'm like, I'm turning your own people. You came up to
call him out, and he's just trying to give you facts. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, and I think honestly, that's the best way to approach it, because there's been so many people, you know, since I've been vaping, where I'm just out in public, minding my own business. I'm not vaping like an asshole. I'm outside, I'm away from people, and I'm vaping, and you see someone coming, and you know, right away, they're just giving you that look, and you go, this person's going to say something about my vape. And what I'm thinking immediately is, I hope they got some time, because they're not ready for all the information that I'm about to drop to them about vaping. Like, they think they have like 4 facts they saw in the news today. Like, please sit down and take a seat.
Those aren't even facts. Those aren't even facts.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, man. So, I mean, I guess that's crazy, man. I never knew that kind of was how it spiraled into, you know, you going there, and I mean, having you come to Washington was great. Like, we had
that was all Margot. That was all Margot and 509. You know, awesome people over there. She was like, "Hey, this is happening. You know, can you come out?" And I was like, "This is crazy," because I've never, you know, done anything crazy like this. To travel across the country to, you know, speak at a hearing. I felt like I was Greg Conley or someone like that. And, you know, and it was so upsetting watching that the way it went down. You know, because I'm some asshole from New York. I'm not even from this state. Like, they're not going to give a fuck who I am. Yeah. You know, but so many people from Washington State spoke really well and made their points.
And they still don't listen. We've been doing it for a long time here, man. There's been a good core group of, you know, active people that are involved in the advocacy in Washington. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you know, we love pulling anybody from anywhere to come in and, you know, help us, you know, present vaping to these legislators. Because, yeah, I mean, like I was just talking with Nick, you know, the year that you came, that we had a whole fresh new batch of representatives and senators. And I mean, it was like starting on square one. We're talking about diacetyl and heavy metals again. Like,
yep. It felt like we were back in 2015.
We read about this years ago, guys. Like, this isn't new information. So yes, I mean, to have you there and come down, I think that was really, really awesome, man. And I'm super proud to, you know, see you getting out there and getting your voice heard, because I think, you know, there's not enough people that are willing to speak their mind enough and loudly as you do, to where sometimes you got to call a spade, you know, like sometimes you just have to call the legislators on their bullshit, because if you don't call them on their bullshit, they're going to continue to feed you more and more and more.
Oh.
True. But, yeah, that was my question. You got some questions, Tim?
I'm down to one, because I think you are asked a question that I had posted, so I'm going to
Anthony.
I'm going to defer my question number 2, but he got a great answer. So I mean, hey,
I'm sorry, I read yours. It's a little.
Yeah, I don't want to walk right.
My question kind of devolved into a bigger.
I don't want to walk back into. Well, this one's actually a little different than all the other ones, though. But my question was really more directly at Matthew, because he's living in a state that is affected by a unique flavor ban, right? So I mean, he's at the state level. So I mean, for people who aren't watching the news or aren't aware of what's going on in around the country. That can still vape. Matthew lives in a state where technically nobody's allowed to vape unless it's tobacco flavors.
Tobacco only.
Yeah, and who's going to do that, right?
So I hope people do. I mean, I hope people are not smoking.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what we're all hoping, is that people don't go back to the stinkies. But I mean, it got hard for a lot of people really quick. So the question was, are there any legal efforts or plans being crafted to somehow fight the existing ban, or do you have any position to fight that, or do you just have to wait till a next open period, say a new governor comes in, or I mean, is there anything you can do in the meantime?
So I'm not a lawyer, obviously.
What?
Right? No, I'm not a lawyer. I am.
Have you thought about it?
When I was a kid, yeah. Even shortly after I got involved with vaping, yeah. But then I looked at how much school and I went, no.
I had a similar thought.
So I don't want to give the wrong legal information, which again, I disclaimed that none of my opinions or what I say reflects Legion, UVA, Phoenix Elixirs, or any other company or organization that I may be involved with. With that being said, the way it was done was so sneaky.
Sneaky.
New York State has been fighting a flavor ban for 4 or 5 years. And New York State Vapor Association has been doing a great job fighting against it. I've gone up to fly-ins to Albany to speak with the legislators personally and try to give them the actual facts and, warn them of the dangers of what would happen. And so when that passed, and it passed through Cuomo using so originally Cuomo tried doing the executive order for the flavor ban because he would not get it passed through legislation. And that's what I was in New York City arguing. But VTA, along with New York State Vapor Association, was able to get a temporary restraining order for that flavor ban. So it did not go into effect. And then they battled it in court and ultimately won it. But what Cuomo did, because he got so butthurt, was he put it through the budget. He snuck it into the budget to do the flavor ban. And it was met with no resistance because they had to pass the budget. So this got put through and passed at about 3:30 in the morning because I was watching the live feed, and it went through without a problem, including the online sale ban. So to this day, people don't even know. That's what's frustrating. To this day, people come into shops and go, "Hey, where are all the flavors?"
We still see it in Washington too, man.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, yeah. Gosh, for Cuomo to go out and do that executive order and that to just spiral in all the other states of like, wait, we can just pass an executive order?
Well, so first off, it was done by Massachusetts. Massachusetts definitely wanted to do that one first. And then it was Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and then it was
Michigan,
which then that got overturned.
Was Michigan before you guys? I thought
Michigan
New York.
Yeah, Michigan was first, then Cuomo said, "No, you can't do that before us."
Right.
We're going to enact it one day earlier.
We're going to go even further and put it through the fucking budget.
That's a common strategy, though. We've seen that. They've tried to do that in Washington. One year, they actually included a vape tax in a bill with, like, something about saving the orcas or protecting the orcas up here.
Oh, that would kill.
And it was like, well, yeah, I want to protect the orcas, but, like, I don't want to ban vaping at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
like fucking orcas have nothing to do with vaping.
It's just the same thing with the one in Florida with the offshore
drilling.
Yeah, I think it was last year. Is it last year or the year before? Representative Paulette
Fuck Paulette.
biggest
Fuck Paulette.
anti-vaping guy in Washington. Look him up. Jerry Paulette. This guy, he put 2 bills into different committees to try to get through. They're basically the exact same bills, but one of them he put through the ecological committee, I guess, and it was trying to ban vaping and tax vaping to like make us start a recycling program for our bottles and for our batteries.
See, that's how you know it's purely about the money.
Even the people on the ecological committee, they're like, okay, like, because we presented a lot of evidence of like vaping. People, like, we've been very conscious, especially on battery recycling. Like, most good vape shops I know collect batteries. We take them to Best Buy to recycle them. Like, it's not that hard. And sure, you want us to recycle plastic bottles, glass bottles? I mean, I guess. I thought they were covered in nicotine and that was hazardous now or whatever, but we can still do it. Yeah, sure. And the ecological committee, they're like, how does this pertain? You're trying to tax a vaping product because of their recycling efforts? Like, this isn't going to work. But they try those weird things where they put it on the budget. They put it on ORCAs, put it in a different committee because, you know, they're just trying to hit it at any angle they can, especially in the states that, you know, haven't been able to pass it. I mean, Paulette's been trying to pass a major vape ending tax flavor ban for almost a decade now.
Well, he got the tax.
I mean, he got the tax. I mean, 9 cents a mil hurts, but you know, we beat it for so many years. It could have been a lot worse.
But
Tim, you got another question,
to answer that question again,
unmute yourself, Tim.
New York State is definitely in a very rough situation until, to my knowledge, until there's legislation to overturn it or it's put up for the next budget, we are in a continuous flavor ban.
Yeah, well, that was what I was kind of hinting at. I mean, are there people trying to get into the ears of the representatives in New York to hopefully
always
say, for example, I mean, now that I say we, because I mean, even though it's demographically specific, but even though Florida had some success with stopping theirs, at least they got DeSantis to kind of go all in on.
Well, the difference is there's DeSantis and there's Cuomo.
Well, right.
This is the same guy that said vaping is healthier than smoking. Technically, yes, but so what?
So what?
And I'm not taking away from that. What I'm saying is, I gotta believe that there's people that are, you know, even though he kind of throws this heavy hand around. I mean, we have been having some successes elsewhere in the States. I mean, you could take that letter from DeSantis and potentially put it in front of aldermen or representatives in New York to try to help scribe some additional legislation and maybe try to talk. I mean, because if anybody's going to have any success, it's none of us are going to talk to Cuomo. All we're going to do is probably yell and scream in his face because half of us can't stand him anyway. But
so you don't get to talk to Cuomo.
Right.
That you
get to
don't.
talk to his
Cuomo is a fucking emperor. Nobody talks to Cuomo. And the aides blow people off left and right and give you misinformation and tell you to talk to this person who tells you to talk to this person. And New York, you are not allowed to voice your opinion. So the only leg that we really have to stand on is with the legislators. And with a primarily Democratic group, it's very difficult up here. Yeah. You know, I have seen some legislators switch out and switch in. We have to find out where they stand on it. But now the other problem is trying to talk to a legislator right now about vaping during COVID.
Yeah.
They're like, we got other things to worry about right now. By the way, vaping increases your chance of getting COVID. Have a nice day. Bye. And you're like,
Yeah, and I mean, I guess what I'm trying to do is open the eyes of people who might be staring down the double barrels of something similar coming their way, you know, and while it feels like some people just kind of roll over and just, I mean, because many of us could go underground, which, you know, I'm sure that there's a lot of that going on, which you expect. But at the same time, you've got people who are frustrated and they can't get what they want and maybe don't have the channels for, what they want to get. So
I'm happy you brought that up, because this is what actually drives me fucking insane. I could live in a vaping banned state. Not flavors. I could live in a vaping banned state. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm 100% fine. I have over 250 mods. I have mech mods for days. I have 18650s, 2700s, 21700s. I have regulated, unregulated. I have mods. I could open up my own shop.
Right.
I know how to make e-liquid. I have an abundance of e-liquid myself. I have access to all these things. Other people don't.
No.
Why am I the one that is fighting when I'm the one that could care less?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, fucking the people that are bitching aren't doing shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that still come in and go, yo, do you have disposables? Not only are they state banned, they're federally banned.
Yeah.
So if you're facing something very similar right now, make friends.
Yeah.
Because here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the honest reality, and people aren't going to like this. We're fucked.
We are in a way.
We are fucked. So the question is, what do we do? It's not like we're fucked immediately today. No, we're going to be fucked. Like, we are looking down the path and we see the trap that is about to happen. So what do? Well, you can take a different path and hope that there's not the same trap later down the road. Or you can break the trap and fuck up the people that are trying to rob you down the road. I mean this 100% metaphorically. Or you just turn around. That's where we're at right now. Because we know vaping right now, the way we know it, that's not going to stay. It's not going to be this way. We already see it right now. We see people dying off in groups. That's a really bad word. We see people dropping off in groups. We see, companies not really, we see companies falling apart. We see people just backing out. VGOD, for instance, they backed out of the USA.
Yeah.
You can't get VGOD. Much to the disdain of many people that I know who use their salts.
Yeah.
You can't get it. Well, what do you mean I can't? You cannot get it. Are you too much of a self-entitled piece of shit to realize you are not getting what you want because you didn't fight for it?
You didn't fight for it.
So,
yeah.
We have to work for the underground. We have to start. And here's another thing too, PMTAs. That's going to be a huge kick in the nuts to the industry. Again, my personal opinion is so fucking what? If you make the product safely, you do your best to fucking keep these products available, I don't care. Be honest. If you filed a PMTA, you filed a PMTA. If you didn't file a PMTA, be honest and say you didn't file a PMTA, but you're not going anywhere. Not because you're in it for the money, but because you care about these products helping people quit smoking.
Yeah.
But, we're seeing these companies. So here's the thing that also bothers me. Why is it that the same companies that were being used in flavor ban hearings for shitty advertising and shitty marketing are now changing their labels, and they're the ones that filed the PMTAs, and they pushed all the other companies that gave a shit out, and now shops are saying, well, we can only carry your product if you have a PMTA. But these people can be on the shelves because they can afford the PMTA. Meanwhile, they're the ones that caused the problems in the first place.
Yeah.
Too true.
So we look at all these great companies out there that care about advocacy, that do shit for advocacy, and they don't get any attention. But these fly-by-night companies, these fire companies, popular companies, are the ones that stay around.
The hype brands, man.
The hype brands.
Man, gosh, it's too sad too, because I mean that's such a true thing, you know, to see some of these brands that got so popular for, you know, maybe their flavors were good, but maybe their marketing was also not done in the correct fashion. And, you know, now they're weaseling out, you know, some long companies that were trying to follow the laws and were trying to stay ahead of the regulations and, you know, help our cause die out, you know, and it's really sad. You know, and I think a lot of the regulations that we've seen come down recently between PMTAs and flavor bans and different taxes in different states, you know, we lost a lot of good advocates, you know, where they've closed up shop.
Yeah, because if they don't have a dog in the fight anymore, why should they fight?
Right.
And I have to be honest, I don't blame them. You have to take care of your family. You have to keep food on your table.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you don't have the business, you can't stay in business and you can't fight.
Right.
But because it's not the popular shit, people don't want it, even though it's just as good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we definitely got the war in front of us, and I encourage people to listen to what Matthew had to say, because Matthew kind of answered my second question, because my second question was like, what do you say to people who want to have a voice and don't know what to do? And so you kind of answer, you got three choices, you know, you can shit or get off the pot is the short answer, right?
Yeah.
So,
and if you're going to have a voice, I have to make this very abundantly clear.
Watch your hot mic. Watch your hot mic.
If you want to have a voice, know what you are talking about.
Yeah, that's key.
Too many times have we seen shops get interviewed and the person being interviewed is blowing giant ass fucking clouds or doesn't know the difference between salt nicotine and regular nicotine and fucking blames companies. Never blame a company on the fucking TV.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You know, because people go, oh, you know, it's all the salt nicotine that the kids are using and this, that, the third. No, it's not. Because it wasn't that 3 years ago. It was kids wanted to blow clouds.
Yeah.
The reality of it is these products are for adults. These products are for adults who want to either try to quit smoking or have a 95.5% healthier, safer alternative to combustible tobacco. These products are for people who get ID'd. These people are for products who are old enough. Keep stressing that over and over. These products are for people who are old enough. These products are for adults. Why are the youth getting a hold of these products? It is illegal for them to purchase these products. It is illegal for them to possess these products in some states. But no, we're not punishing the fucking youth. We're putting them on goddamn pedestals, giving them their 15 minutes of fucking fame. Jerome Adams is looking at them the way Biden looks at a little girl's fucking head when he's taking a selfie with them. But it's not a problem. In these hearings, these children are admitting that they broke the law.
Yeah, they are. That's the funniest part of it too. They admit to it, you know, and it's just like
there was one thing I saw where a 12-year-old went online and ordered a vape product in front of the legislature. You knowingly broke the law in front of the legislators.
Yeah.
And these fucking these PAVE parents, these Karens who can't drink enough wine to fucking save their lives, who probably aren't getting fucked by their husbands because they'll be happier. These Karens are sending their kids into these stores. So they are having their kids break the law. But these Karens are connected to Bloomberg. Yeah. Bloomberg has money. For those of you that don't know, Meredith Beckman actually sued Pirates Booty because she got fat.
Yeah.
No. That's got booty in the name. I mean, out of any product that you're going to try and expect to not
and
get
she
fat,
won.
It says booty.
And she won.
And she won.
The Warriors won $700-something thousand.
Yeah.
Well, imagine how much she won.
Yeah. 30%. That's whatever.
Right. And I mean, I love to, like, they show up at the hearings and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I've been addicted to Juul products and I was vaping, you know, 4 packs of pods a week or whatever.
And I didn't know it had nicotine.
I used Juul myself when it first came out. I tried it. I was working at a vape shop. I tried it, but there's no way I was paying $20 a pack 4 times a week. I'm going to pay $80 for 4 packs in a week. What 16, 17-year-old kid? What 16 or 17-year-old kid has an extra $80 to just blow every week on Juul pods? If you're 16 or 17, the hardest thing that I had trouble spending my money on was just affording my gas to go places.
You know how many lawns I would have had to cut back in the days for that kind of money?
Yeah, but Juul pods back in your day, John, would have been like $8 a pack.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, and it's like I hear all these sob stories about these kids that, you know, are addicted to nicotine. That's a fucking choice. Oh, I didn't know it had nicotine in it. This is on a box of fucking coil.
It's written all over it. It's written all over it.
We have a reading problem. We have a learning problem.
We have a problem with our education system if kids don't know that a nicotine product has nicotine in it. I mean...
Or the stories about how, oh, he used to be such a great student and then he started using the vape and then he started getting detention. Oh, he started getting detention because he was vaping in fucking school.
Yeah.
He stopped going to practice because he stopped going to practice. I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day playing baseball.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Same here. My football team at my high school was smoking packs of cigarettes and dipping and smoking marijuana. It was going out of style. Okay.
Well, when I was in high school, we were allowed to smoke. I'm old. I'm going to admit it. We were allowed to smoke. So we had our smoking area, but we weren't allowed to smoke at football practice. But this amazing product came out just in time, and it was the patch, the skull packs. So that fit perfectly inside your mouthpiece. So you could still wear your mouthpiece and still have the skull pouch. Still have skull pouch
in the mouthpiece?
I'm just imagining getting tackled with where.
I swallowed one.
As we are all examples here.
Yeah, exactly.
People that are 16 to 18 don't make the best decisions.
No, we don't.
Well, people 16 to 18 nowadays aren't even doing the shit that we did when we were 16 or 18.
Right. Right. Completely different.
We're going to jump into Brian. Brian's got some questions for you. So, Brian, go ahead, brother.
On what you guys just said, according to the ants, the brain's development is until 23. So, there's that.
No, because that's why they're trying to increase it to 25.
Yep. I know.
If you're going to do that, we got to increase a lot of other things to 25.
Right?
Okay?
Exactly. No,
you're muted, Tim.
You're muted. You never sounded better, Tim.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I was saying let just ask your questions, Brian, because I got the 25 thing in the news.
So me and Matt have known each other for a little while here, and we've had some really good talks. So I'm going to try steer away from a few things. Well, kind of our whole thing right now. One thing is you've mentioned the Legion. The thing is though, with the viewership and stuff, I don't think a lot of people know about the Legion. Could you explain the Legion a little bit to people who are listening?
That's a goddamn shame in itself to begin with. So the Vaping Legion is a group of people who work tirelessly to save the industry from itself. The Vaping Legion was originally about bad e-liquid manufacturers making bathroom juice and exposed Dr. Crimmies for being in a lab that looked like it would have been better off as a fucking gnat breeding area. Also, lest we forget, www.shitparticles.com. Check, it might still bring you to Crimmies. So the Legion was formed, and we are relentless. Mm-hmm. We don't care. We don't follow traditional code of ethics. We have called out companies for bullshit. We have called out scammers. We have called out industry scammers. We've called out politicians. We've exposed advocacy groups for being fake. We are the best way of putting it, the anonymous of the vaping industry. And I was brought into the Legion a couple of years ago because I had the passion, I had the conviction, but I did not have the direction. I was angry, I was confused, I didn't know what was going on, and I attacked people that didn't deserve to be attacked. So the Legion brought me under their wing, figuratively and literally, and I rose up in the ranks, and then I've been with them ever since. Legion is ran by Tristan Thompson. He is the Legion commander. He is the president for all intents and purposes. And then we have, a bunch of people after that. Legion is a hierarchy, but it is also a work group in Facebook that, we are the ones that smash the comments on legislators' posts or anti-vaping posts. We are the ones that say the things that no one should say, but we don't care because we are the Legion. We are not the good guys. Right. I want to make that very plain and simple. We are the necessary evil needed to protect the industry from itself.
Yeah, well, I remember, the Legion from way back. Like, I knew of them, knew of you guys, but the thing is, though, we've gotten a lot of newer vapors, and I don't think that they know of, the Legion and what it stood for and why it is the way it is. So that's kind of why I was asking.
Legion is not the way it used to be, where we've become more political, we've become more advocacy based. Who knows? Maybe that'll change, but we are not going away. I mean, I'm in it forever. I got it branded on me.
All right. We're going to jump into news and advocacy, but and then we have our Zamplebox thing. But I forgot to do the poll, and I worked so hard on it. I worked really hard on it. So hard on it.
Your poll is accurate.
I think I have like 5 more questions, maybe.
No, probably.
No.
I have a lot of questions. I feel like I go we can go rapid fire for tonight.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back.
I thought we were gonna have a nice, lighthearted Thanksgiving. Talk about Black Friday. Talk about we kicked it off.
Did you know what was gonna happen when you had me on the air? I mean,
yeah.
I knew it.
There's a reason you're one of my favorite guests, Nick. So remember that. All right, here we go. Where'd it go? Oh, there it goes. Well, I did a poll real quick on a couple of vape group sites, and I wanted to get an idea of what everybody was using as far as their atomizers on a majority of the day. So I know some of us switch from mods to pods and but a lot of times most of us are using the same mod with the same atomizer on it. So I asked everybody in a couple groups which one they used, and Ohms Anonymous, it looks like everyone in there is using an RD8. And this was surprising to me. We talked about this earlier before the show started, but RDAs are making a comeback, which is great. I love seeing it. Buildable devices are making a comeback, and people are starting to get away from the pre-factory coils. So it was good to see that. In the Zamplebox family page, why is this keep coming up there? Okay. RDAs are king in there as well, with 52 people saying
RDAs on the comeback, John.
Yep, some ohm tanks.
Is it because of COVID?
It's COVID. I think it has to do a lot with COVID.
I think it has to be COVID. Otherwise, sub-tank or pod system would have to be in the lead. Like, I feel like, I feel like when you ran this poll, originally I was like, okay, it's going to go sub-tank, pod system, RDA.
Yeah, so did I. I was shocked RTAs were in there as well. Pod systems in there as well. RDTAs, people were actually still using those, which was kind of cool to see.
Now, did you make this so people could only vote once?
Yes. Only once.
See, that's why
you got to pick the one that you use the majority of the day. Which
what happens if
you're
an RDA user and then you have your pod system that you use when you're not using the RDA?
It's whatever you use more though.
The majority of the time.
Like I use my Falcon tank a lot, but the majority of the day I'm slipping in my pod. I don't know, and I mean that's new. Like I've definitely. Primarily,
I used to, when I was using a dripper or RTA, I was always hitting. I would literally hit back to back. I would hit once for the cloud, and then I'd grab my little device and get it for the nicotine.
Flavor, nicotine, cloud.
And the barista page is RDA, RTA, RBAs. I had to add RBAs, but you'll see why on the next page here. Vaping Fagan's page. Our guest made me alter my poll a little because he was upset that he didn't have his category in there. So
there was literally not an MTL option.
There's the MTL tanks. He got one vote. I don't know who voted for it. Matthew.
Does that say North Carolina? Hold on. Go back down there. Is my VPN jumping all over the place?
You moved. You moved and you didn't know.
Visited North Carolina.
You visited.
Oh.
So Facebook, that's an important thing to know about that.
Yeah.
This was Carolina.
This was the only group that RTAs was number one. RTAs was number one in the Vaping Fagans group.
That's because
with RDAs
second. RTAs.
Yeah, of course.
So by default, everyone's gonna love RTAs.
Yeah.
If you can't find a good tank that has a good coil, though, RTAs. I mean, but literally before I found the Falcon was the only tank I found where I was like, oh, this vape's pretty close for flavor from RTA, and it lasts me like a month. I'm in. Before that, RTA only. Like literally, I was buying 5 years of like, I'm not buying a sub tank. I bought like the Atlantis, and then I bought the TFV4, and I was like, nope, we're still not there.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of interesting to see how RDAs have taken over, and I'm happy. I mean, to me, that people are starting to build again, and they're having fun with it, and they're
building great again. I love it. I think building is fucking awesome.
Building is your safest bet when it comes to bans, because you can always get Kanthal or nichrome wire,
it's the safest bet to make what you want to vape.
Yeah, right.
If you like 35 watts, you can make 25 different variations of a coil that run great at 35 watts, and you can try them out. If you want 100 watts, same thing. You could build all these different variations and be like, this one is the best.
Well, building also for me in the beginning was a great way to take my mind away from that
it was
craving.
so therapeutic. So you work at a shop and you have to build everyone's fucking coils who come in.
And then you don't want to build your own coils.
No, I used to have someone build my own coils for me. I was like, no, I just built 8 coils today. You build these.
All right. We're gonna jump into the man down there.
I want to know what's going on with advocacy. See if there's anything I haven't heard.
And here is his bumper. Boom. Love that part.
I want an intro. What the fuck?
We'll work on it.
Hey, you're sponsored. That's my only sponsorship right there. A Zamplebox little intro slot there. So no, coming at you live from the Space Heater Central here in beautiful downtown Beaufort, Georgia. That's where I'm from, and I'm not a Southerner to that degree, so no drawl tonight. Sorry,
no
kids.
drawl.
So let's tap the papers. Let's get into some news. I got 3 things for you tonight. One is going to be an article that came out, and then 2 are advocacy points. The first article, the article in general that we're going to talk about, and Matthew kind of hinted to it, is that, we hear about politicians saying that they're going to follow quote unquote science, right? But what science are they going to listen to? I wanted to bring somewhat of a positive news story to the table. So this article, let me share my screen real quick because I do have the article up. I'm not going to scroll it, so you'll just have to believe me when I say I took notes.
I trust you. I trust you.
All right. So this first article is entitled "Scientists Conducted a Randomized Trial with the Health Risk Benefits Between E-Cigarettes versus Combustibles." So this
like
was
how they had to randomize this. Like,
well,
what's it gonna be? Is burning plant matter safer than e-cigarettes?
Well, I think the randomized trials are effective because they actually in the last one that I talked about last week it was randomized to the point where they actually gave people the option to pick what tobacco harm reduction method they wanted to try to get study results, right? So we remember that article from last week. But anyway, this week's article basically details a collaboration that was between the University of Kansas and their Cancer Center, the California State University, San Marcos, and Brown University. So all three of their medical facilities got together to conduct this study. It was a 6-week-long trial comparing e-cigarettes to combustible tobacco among African Americans and Latinx smokers using 4th generation e-cigarettes nic salts, because the opinion in the article is that vaping's come a long way. Not everybody is using the standard freebase anymore. That 4th generation vaping is now transferred to the nic salt levels and the pods and things like that. More importantly, the pod systems and the high milligram nic salts are really what's designed to kill those cravings, kids, right? So when you're a smoker and you're coming off, if you hear vapors,
please don't say kids. Please don't say kids.
I'm using that as a term of endearment. So, well, we want everyone to be youthful, right? We don't want people getting old and decrepit and dying. So, but at any rate, the idea behind nic salts is if you hear other vapors talking about transferring you to that methodology, it's because smokers have a hard time quitting. And if you can get a relative vape to what you're used to smoking, nic salts can prove to be a benefit. However, they decided to do the randomized trial on the African American contingent and the Latinx smokers using 4th generation e-cigarettes. The study was designed to examine biomarkers in both groups and determine the risk-benefit trade-off of e-cigarettes. So people quitting by going to e-cigarettes, would their health improve if they did this? Because this is what we hear so much negativity about, is that they're worse than cigarettes, right? So those who switched to e-cigarettes experienced a significant reduction in a certain biomarker called NNAL. I will explain what NNAL is. So NNAL is a byproduct of NNK. There was no explanation of that acronym, so I apologize. Let's just take it for what it's worth. NNK, which is a tobacco-specific carcinogen in tobacco products, when metabolized by your body, converts to NNAL, which indicates the body's exposure to tobacco products. So that means it's an unavoidable risk when you're smoking cigarettes. NNK will transmit or transfer to NNAL, and that is an indicator that your body's been exposed to tobacco products. Users also experienced a dramatic drop in carbon monoxide and self-reported respiratory symptoms. Nicotine exposure, lung function, and blood pressure remained unchanged. So that was kind of interesting. So they were detecting that they had lower levels of carbon monoxide in their system, and they were not talking about lung-related issues, so shortness of breath or hacking and wheezing, coughing up a lung, things like that. Here's what surprised most of the doctors. They were surprised by the magnitude of change experienced by those in the e-cigarette group. NNAL, which is the biomarker in the body, was reduced by 64%. So that means when they switched to e-cigarettes, NNAL levels fell by 64%. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, that is.
Carbon monoxide was reduced by 47%. And
that's huge.
Yes. And respiratory symptoms reduced by 37% compared to smokers. So this is one of those more feel-good articles, just simply because it's proving, I think, what a lot of us say in the background, and that it is 95% healthier than the alternative to combustible tobacco.
Hey, Tim, I think you covered it, but what could you tell me again what was like a 4th generation e-cig?
That's the nic salts, the high milligram
got
that come along. So
now,
question
about that though. Are they referring to nic salts in general as 4th generation, or are they talking about disposables, or are they talking about
I feel like that's interesting because like even like a disposable or a Juul or like even like a basic 10, 15 watt pod system is like old technology.
Right.
Like
so it doesn't state when this study was conducted. However, like with many of these articles, you fall into a lot of generalities when they start talking about the commentary. So I'll just read the section where it's what the doctor said, because there was one doctor that kind of headed the whole thing. She says 4th generation e-cigarettes contain high concentrations of nicotine and other appealing features that may support switching and reduce potential health risks among those who smoke combustible cigarettes, Dr. Nolan said.
Other appealing features?
Flavor.
Yeah, they're not saying flavors, though.
That kind of sounds like flavors.
Well, she didn't specifically state it. But she could also be alluding to the fact that, they're small devices, easy to manage, disposable. They're not these huge box mods with big tanks and things like that. So portability, convenience to carry around.
Color,
exactly.
Simplicity,
She said, we wanted to examine the biomarkers of exposure in both groups and determine the risk-benefit trade-off of e-cigarettes. So specifically looking for smokers who want to transition or get off of cigarettes, or at least put that to the test, right? So, I mean, that was really they don't go into any other detail about exactly what devices they're talking about, but given that this was a pretty recent article, we're talking November.
They mentioned the nic salts, we're going to assume that it's within the last year.
I'm thinking, Juul and stuff like that. So at any rate, they said that benefits were also achieved in dual users in all 3 categories as well. So even people who were dual using,
that's important.
Yes, we're experiencing reductions in all 3 of those main categories that they were targeting. The only thing that stayed the same was lung function, blood pressure, and nicotine exposure, lung function, and blood pressure remain unchanged. That I would understand because the nic salts are high milligram. So, it's relative, right? If there's 24 milligrams in a cigarette.
Nicotine is still vasoconstrictor. So,
Exactly. And here's the reason behind why they chose African Americans and Latinx smokers. African Americans and Latinx smokers smoke less than other ethnicities, but are more likely to develop and die from tobacco-related health issues. So they're more highly susceptible to extreme results by smoking. So that's why they stated that both of those groups are very highly underrepresented in most studies.
Dang,
so they
Bill
wanted to bring
the stats.
Bill is a savage. I'm convinced Bill has 6 computer screens open. He is like he has the bat cave for vaping.
Right.
I love Bill so much. Thank you for that.
Bill's been crushing it in the comments tonight. Big
shout
out to you, man.
So my takeaway from that article was that this is just another article that kind of substantiates and furthers the proof that in high-risk tobacco-related illness death groups of society, e-cigarettes proved to be beneficial in improving health biomarkers adversely impacted by smoking combustible tobacco. So we have a pretty recent study. These are things that should be in health advocates' folders when they go to the table, to at least talk on the behalf of vaping in a positive light. All right, so let's move along. Let's go over to vaping. That was your article for the day. This one touches on something that's been brought up multiple times in the show tonight, and that is that Suffolk County, New York, where Matthew lives, wants to raise the smoking age limit to, I'll change it. Hold on. If you don't need me, I've got it right here. It was from Vaping 360. They want to raise the legal age of smoking any tobacco-related product, including vaping, cigars, everything, to 25. They were supposed to vote on this on November 19th. Bottom line, the bill would have raised the age of tobacco and vaping products to those 25 and older. What's interesting to me, and I didn't know this, maybe unlike many other states where the state of New York allows cities and municipalities to pass stricter laws beyond the state, where usually that's adverse. Right. Usually here, once the state passes a specific law, everybody else can't do something.
It supersedes the county law.
Right, more egregious. A similar bill to this was also tried to be passed in Hawaii, but failed earlier this year. So they're even trying to do that stuff.
Well, Hawaii tried to be like fucking 90-something years old.
What are you guys' like opinions on this though? Because like I feel like I have a pretty strong opinion on this, but I haven't really heard a lot of other people's opinions on what they think on making an age limit higher than the technical age to be an adult in America. I mean,
I think pick
a fucking age and make everything that one age.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. Is like, if you're whatever age you're an adult to vote, go to prison, join the military, like that should be your adult age, and that should cover all of the products. We shouldn't have these multiple steps where like driving 16, cigarettes, and gambling is 18, and then 21 is like, oh, you can finally drink now. Like,
well, I agree. It's funny that someone that's you're 18, you can join the military. So you're telling me that
you can drive a tank.
Yeah, you have the mindset. Yeah, you have the mindset to decide whether someone lives or dies.
Well, I don't like using that argument.
No, but you know what I'm saying. I'm getting at, but you don't have the mindset yet to decide whether or not you can vape or drink a beer.
Right. So my thing is, it's very simple. You're old enough to vote on these issues. You're old enough to put these people into office.
Yeah.
You should be old enough to do what these things are.
Yeah. And I think that's interesting too, because we have some states that are trying to lower the voting age while increasing ages to use other adult products.
Consider why, right? They want more voters in their corner. So if they say, hey, we're going to go ahead and let the kids who can't seem to control themselves around vaping, we're going to go ahead and let them elect their officials, because it's all about votes at that point. So I mean, it's all a ruse. It's
another form of gerrymandering. Right.
In the words of Mike Larson, hashtag it's all a ruse.
Exactly.
So shout out to Mike Larson.
So in case anybody wants to know who's trying to pass this bill, the guy's name is Sam Gonzalez.
Sam Gonzalez is a fucking hypocrite. And Sam Gonzalez.
Yeah, and I'll back. No, you were smoking at 17. You
okay,
liar.
But I'll back that up. Bill was a former 2-pack a day smoker, and so that's why Matthew said he's a hypocrite, because he came from where we all came from. So rather than fight for something that has some positive benefit here, he's trying to use that platform to say, well, I quit. I don't want people to make the same mistakes I did. So, this is going to make Suffolk a more attractive place to live. He's also the same guy who tried to pass legislation that would have banned smoking in some residences.
Yep.
So, right. So, I mean, this guy.
I was at that hearing.
Yeah.
You can't smoke in your backyard on your patio? Like, is that
inside?
So there was two. There was one that's on the patio.
Yeah.
And then there was one inside.
Yeah.
I mean, I get, like, if it's like an apartment or a building you don't own, but like if it's your house and you own the house, I can smoke inside my house if I want. I pay the mortgage.
I mean, shit, if you're in Oregon, you can shoot up heroin in your house.
And that was the thing.
Straws are banned, but cocaine is okay.
In one part of the article, it said some residences, which I took as maybe leased properties or properties that were not
they were going for leased properties. They were going for
apartment buildings.
Yeah, like, so we don't have a lot of like apartment buildings out here. What we have are like, I mean, technically they're apartments. I mean, I used to live in Brooklyn, so they're not apartments as far as I'm concerned. They're like suburban apartments, kind of gated communities.
Is it like a duplex? Like, is it like two?
Kind of like a condo.
They're more like that.
Like you have a yard and a garage, but it's like connected at the garage or something like
that. No. It's like you have like a central area and shit like that. But My argument to them was very simply this, because it's something I experienced. What happens when you have a single mother who works all fucking day long, gets home, wants to smoke a cigarette on her porch,
right,
but has to now go away from the property in the sketchy ass area to smoke a cigarette?
Yeah. At night, because she worked all day, so it's now 8 o'clock at night. Her kids are finally in bed. Not only does she have to leave her kids, but has to go outside to possibly
their argument for that is,
house.
She shouldn't be smoking in the first place.
Right.
And that's kind of like his angle. He also relies on research that claims the decision-making process of the brain does not fully develop until the age 25. I don't know where he got that. I have not read those studies. That's his basis for why it should be tobacco 25. But then we can digress back into the conversation we were having before.
So that has been tabled.
Yes,
by
it is.
The Suffolk County Health Committee.
Right.
Table is not a defeat. Yeah. Table means we got too much shit going on right now to deal with this. We'll sneak this back in because it was passed almost unanimously to move on.
Right. And the sad part about all of this, and it's in there in that little kind of peach colored area, it states that that there is no more opportunity for open public comment.
So when I said only 4 or 5 people spoke, that was it. And even Gonzalez turned around and said, I didn't want to hear from the industry. I wanted to hear from the people.
Right. So,
but open comments closed. How do you want to hear from people if you close open comments? The people are at work. Like, what day was the hearing on? It was probably on a weekday.
Tuesday.
A Tuesday, probably in the middle of a work day at like noon, 1 o'clock.
Suffolk County, no excuse. We're still under COVID shit. People are home.
Right.
You can literally hop on your phone and fucking do a Zoom call.
Yep. And I think that's how they set a lot of these up. The public comment was open to like a Zoom meeting or something like that, where you could step in and talk. So I knew Matthew would know about that one. We've talked about it a couple times. Now, here's one that maybe Matthew doesn't know about. It's called Stump the Elliott, right? This is which I'm sure he probably has a little insight to this one. I thought this one was interesting primarily for John, because John lives in California. But the California vape ban, which everyone is aware of, that was supposed to go into effect on January 1st in 2021. Opponents of the ban, which includes some combustible tobacco products, menthol, smokeless, and small cigars, believe that they have enough public signatures to reject the tobacco and vape ban in a November 2022 referendum.
That was Reynolds.
All right,
Reynolds funded that.
Right, so we'll get into the nuances of actually who these people are. California Coalition for Fairness, funded by Big Tobacco, says it has collected over 1 million signatures from registered voters, whereas they only needed 625,000 valid signatures to actually get them to that point. So this is who spent the money to fight the war. And the reason why I am confident that these people stepped in to say anything about it and get this ban delayed for so long is because you were starting to dig into their pockets. You have to remember that the California vape ban affected menthol cigarettes and smokeless tobacco.
That was one of the big things. And you're telling me in California, especially parts of California, menthols are banned?
Yeah, that ain't gonna go well.
Okay.
But as much as vaping is put a gut punch to the big tobacco, now they started to see their own revenue get immediately affected because they couldn't. This was a total package, right? They couldn't just suppress one part; they had to back the whole entire bill off. So they spent a total of $21 million. This is Altria and RJ Reynolds to spearhead the efforts to stop the ban. And if you were on Twitter at all, you would have seen Truth Initiative and some of these other ants groups complaining that Big Tobacco stepped in to reverse this ban. So those are the people that they protect.
Because they need that funding.
Yeah, right, and they front you and they make you think that they're fighting to stop, the use of tobacco, from in all different sectors, and that's not it. They're targeting vaping specifically because big tobacco pays them to run their mouths and say a bunch of negative stuff.
Well, big tobacco doesn't pay them; they get paid by
the money that big tobacco is funneled into the government.
Right.
What this means, though, overall, is that now vape shops and e-liquid manufacturers would be allowed to remain open. And it's important to note, this was important in the ban that I didn't realize, is that even if products were accepted or approved by the PMTA, they would have been included in the ban. So even people who thought they might have been able to get around it by getting their PMTAs in and leaving their products on the shelf, the ban would have shut them down anyway. So this does buy some time for people in the vaping industry. And then this was disappointing, and I think Matthew's echoed this several times tonight. Well, let me pull it up. Let me pull this up. So, because this was I forget the actual people who conducted the study, but it was disappointing to hear that even with CASA issuing calls to action, there was no visible opposition to the ban by not only independent vaping businesses, but national industry advocates. That's what the article scriber had said, and that there was no participation by industry groups to try to gather signatures to oppose the ban. So I didn't know if you knew any of that, Matthew, but maybe you did.
Yeah, fucking that's Dick Dak doing that shit, working with Reynolds and Altria.
So
here's the problem with that, though. Yeah. And I'll tell you exactly why that this is, a huge deal. Because what they're going to do is they are going to cut out exemplary for big tobacco. Yeah. And they're still going to throw vaping under the bus.
As is tradition.
But given the levity of this particular, do you foresee that maybe shooting to try to rewrite the legislation and try to push it back forward before 2022, or does it sound like all of this is going to stall until at least November 2022?
To that I can't speak.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know the California legislation like that.
Like when I read those gotcha headlines, because when this one kind of popped up in my feed today in the middle of the day, I wasn't actually even going to talk about this until it popped up. I didn't even know that it was going on myself. But when I read that gotcha headline, I always have to read the finer detail of the article to get the meat and potatoes. It's just like all those anti-vaping articles that come out, where like kid is in the hospital because he was vaping. It's like, well, wait till you get to the bottom of the article where it says he was vaping black market THC cartridges. They don't put they don't put that shit at the beginning of the article. They always put it at the bottom because they want to cloud your brain with, or at least not our brains, but the people they're trying to target with a bunch of misinformation. So I had to read the whole thing. And it just sounded to me, it was fairly general. It sounded to me like they were going to reverse the entire thing and it was going to put it on hold until 2022, when I guess they'll come back to the table and renegotiate. Hey, there's Anthony. So at any rate, that's the news. So what were you trying to do?
I was trying to highlight Anthony, but
you did.
I did.
2 seconds.
All right, it's time for Anthony. He's got some big news for us, and we're going to let him
talk about Black Friday.
Hold
on.
No? Oh. Bam, go.
Yeah. We needed the shameless plug here, okay? Black Friday's upon us, people. Basically Thursday night at 12:01, so it's actually Friday early morning. We kick off our Black Friday sales. We have a couple big deals going on. If basically we have limited quantity coupons for our doorbusters, so that means we have 100 coupons for $1 Zampleboxes. That's 6-bottle, low strength, not the salt box, unfortunately. If you want the salt box, though, you could get it for $7. I think it's only $6 additional if you use the $1 coupon. So there's 100 of those coupons, and then we're going to have 100 additional coupons at $10 Zampleboxes. So if you don't make it for the first 100, you can get a Zamplebox for $10 or get it for $16 for the salt box, which would be 6 30 ml salts for $16.
That's cheaper than the price of
pretty
one bottle.
damn good deal if I've ever seen one.
So what time do I have to get up for this?
The deals kick off right at midnight, 12:01 on Friday. So
is that Eastern, Pacific
Standard Time? Thank you.
All right, well, there goes the fucking 3:30 in the morning. Fucking.
If you're on the East Coast time, I'm sorry. We're based on the West Coast. Set a reminder in your phone. Build a little program to buy it through our website.
Use your Alexa.
Yeah.
What is it for other
Yell
times?
it from bed, huh?
Yeah. What is it for other times?
So if it starts off
don't do that to
midnight,
him.
so then we got to talk.
This is going to train wreck.
Mountain time is going to be 1 a.m. Then Central time is going to be 2 a.m. And then Eastern time is going to be 3 a.m.
all week.
What if I'm in the UK?
I actually didn't, and I'm glad I remembered Mountain time becomes before Central. That's the key point.
Add 6, Matthew.
Matthew brought up a good point, though.
We have 100 coupons of each. What about UK? Oh,
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, UK, but I'm assuming it's like 12 hours opposite, so it's probably
Australia.
That's China and Singapore, bro.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we have somebody that's from Australia.
We have Google, guys. Okay, look up 12 PST. Look up midnight Pacific Standard Time. Calculate it out on Google. They will solve this for you. Yeah. Okay, but 100 $1 Zampleboxes, 100 $10 Zampleboxes. I guess I should. No, damn it, wrong finger.
There you go.
Yeah. $110. Then we have 100 coupons for free shipping. It's domestic only, unfortunately, so it's only for US customers. After all of if you don't get any of those deals, site-wide 50% off. Take it or leave it. Get a 50% off Zamplebox. Get a 50% off in the retail store. And just so you know, these deals will probably go all weekend. So, nice. we'll have those limited doorbusters. It's basically 300 coupons, 100 of the $1, 100 of the $10, 100 of the free shipping. And if you miss out on those, 50% off. Why not? Fuck it.
Is it one coupon per person, so they can't order like 10 $1 boxes?
I mean, if you want to order 10 $1 boxes, so you're gonna have to make 10 accounts.
Yeah, that's true.
If you take the time to make 10 accounts,
you deserve it.
You get 10 boxes. Okay, like good on you for making 10 accounts. It probably wouldn't take you that long, but at the same time, like. That's kind of a lot of effort.
This is worse than buying a fucking PlayStation or an Xbox right now. Let the bots go to work.
Let the bots get the bots.
So take advantage of those doorbusters. If you miss those, everything else will be 50% off. So you can still score a great deal. And then Monday, for Cyber Monday, we'll have some additional deals, which I'm not going to divulge yet.
Yeah,
so you can wait till Monday. Okay, like Black Friday, I already told you, it's going to be all weekend. Monday, it's going to be different deals.
Hey, you know what? This is a great gift for a smoker to switch them over to vaping.
Yeah. Make an account of like, oh, hey, I know Matt really likes menthol flavors. I'm going to build him up a menthol Zamplebox, and I'm going to put in all of my information. But guess what? I'm going to ship it just to his house. So just show.
Well, you wouldn't be able to ship it to me, but
true.
You have to.
Restrictions apply if you're in a flavor ban state, of course. So
and where do you go? Where do you go for this? Where do you go for this?
I think it would be the website down below, Zamplebox.com. But if you guys want to get an even better sneak peek, it's Zamplebox.com/best-black-friday-deal.
Oh my God!
It's a lot.
We wanted,
but it's okay because I'll be sharing that link. As soon as Black Friday kicks off, it'll be on our Facebook, it'll be on our Instagram, it'll be on our Twitter. You guys have plenty of places to click it and not remember it from the bumper down here. So, but yeah, Fantastic deals. Like
that's awesome.
It's a great time to order someone up for someone who you think might want to quit smoking for 2021, or it's time for like, hey, maybe I just want 6 bottles for $1, or maybe I want 6 salt bottles for $7. Like,
that's a good deal.
That's a damn good deal.
Now, what milligrams do you guys go up to?
So in our salt box, we do 25 and 50.
The boxes are all mine. They're all mine.
In our salt box, it's 25, 50 milligram. Like I said, it's $1 per bottle additional for the salt bottle. So if you use the $1 coupon, it would be plus $6, so it'd be $7. But if you want to use it on our 0.3 or 6 bottle or 0.3 or 6 milligram sample boxes, then get it for $1. Boom.
You have 12.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. I'm actually, Matt, now that you are talking about that, I've been talking to many different vendors, and I've been trying to compile enough vendors to build a 12 milligram box.
Nice.
I don't know if I have quite enough flavors to do it, but I do want to definitely bring 12 milligram onto Zamplebox. So maybe you can
my
get it.
DM when we're done with this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got it.
A smaller box?
Yeah, I mean, and that's it.
flavors?
So that's the thing. You got to think if Zamplebox has 50 flavors, okay, and then even if we have 50 flavors and you're not picky, if you got a 6 bottle box, that's only going to get you, 10-ish boxes. 9.5 boxes before you start to see repeats. So, the great thing with Zamplebox is we want you to continue to get different flavors unless you use the reserve feature. I mean, if you use the reserve feature and you're like, hey, I love this flavor and I want 5 bottles of it, use the reserve feature. That is an option as well. Yeah. But like the core point, I think, of Zamplebox is to try different flavors. So if we don't have, 150, 200, 12 milligram flavors, it's really hard to keep like enough variety in a sample box for 12 milligram. But that has been something very high on my parties, because I think there's plenty of people like you that are using, a MTL type of vape, 10, 15 watts ish.
Apparently there's only one according to the fucking polls.
Well, maybe not actually. We did run a poll today. But I do feel like there's more of you, and I do feel like even if they didn't note it on there, there's people that are using 12 milligram products. Like I think 12 milligram is a good nicotine strength. Honestly, if we didn't have gone so high in salt nic originally from the get-go, I would think, a 12 and a 25 milligram would probably be, more ideal for the majority of people. But the thing is, also with Zamplebox and PMTAs is I can only source PMTA products. So if you only submitted a product in X size and X nicotine level, that's all I can get it in. It's only what's submitted in there. So we're fortunate that we have enough vendors that have submitted 30 mil products. We are working on a larger bottle box offering. The industry's obviously gone that way for quite some time now. Many vendors have only submitted for 60 mil and larger bottle box offerings. So expect 2021 to maybe go to some bigger bottles.
Some big bottles.
I like big bottles. I can't lie.
It brings the boys to the yard.
I am vaping a strawberry crunch right now.
You're muted, Tim. You're muted, Tim.
Okay. I'm trying to save you guys from the wiener dogs bark.
Oh, I think we need to set up an episode where it's Bring Your Dogs Day or Share Your Pets Day. I think that'd be a good one. Yeah, I mean, you got 2 awesome wiener dogs, or do you have 3, Tim?
I have 2, and it would be a long segment.
So my dog Summit, he's like a boxer lab German Shepherd mutt, basically, but he's huge, and he used to work in my vape shop every day. Actually, speaking of ways to get people involved with vaping, Matt, let me tell you one of the most successful ways that I got people to send in letters was taking a picture of my dog Summit, who was our vape shop dog, in front of our store, really sad. He's just sitting in front of the door and sharing vape shop dogs have jobs too. They're going to be out of jobs. I couldn't tell you. That was probably one of the most viral campaigns that we had to get people active was put a sad dog in front of it, he's gonna lose his job.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Feel bad for the doggy.
Well, we're gonna do our goodbyes here because we're running a little late here, and since Anthony is in that box right there, you can go first, Mr. Anthony.
I'm going first. Like I said, we have Thanksgiving sales going on right now. It's 25% off. But if you wait till midnight on Black Friday, that'd be the 27th, Pacific Standard Time, for all of you other people outside of Pacific Standard Time zone, you can get a Zamplebox for $1, $10, free shipping, and if you miss out on those, it's still 50% off. So take advantage of those deals. Have a good Thanksgiving, and I'm expecting to hear reports back next week on who had good gravy.
All right, I'm gonna take a picture of my lumpy gravy and have it ready for next week.
I'll freeze you up with good stuff. I'm gonna send it down to you.
Italians don't make good gravy. That's all I'm saying.
We could trade. I can whip you up some gravy. You know, my mom, literally at every Thanksgiving, my mom is the only one that's allowed to make gravy. She's taught me her recipe. So like when I make gravy and stuff at home, like I have her recipe.
But it's not her making it.
But it's always like I'm trying to get it to taste like hers. But yeah, I mean, we could definitely talk some trades, John. I want to try some of your pasta sauce, man.
Some pasta sauce. You got it. And Matthew, you got any last words you want to throw out there? Anything that you're working on or anything that's going on with you or anything? And of course, your goodbye.
I don't really have anything going on. No, that's not true. There is definitely going to be an influx of shit
regulations
probably
January.
Very soon. I'm going for the heads of some of the things soon, and it's going to be ugly. It's going to be brutal. I'm going to lose a lot of support from people because of it, but I can't just sit by and watch shit happen.
You feel it's necessary.
Not get involved when they should. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out soon. Expect it from me. Expect it from Legion. Keep an eye out for some things from UVA. Like I said, there's stuff going on in the background that isn't being discussed. But otherwise than that, everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of food. Be thankful. Be safe. And fucking live your lives.
Yeah.
Well said.
Hey. Instead of chasing that paper.
All right. Brian.
Oh God. That finger. I was watching that meter finger just kind of move around to pick somebody.
Just thank everyone for tuning in. It's always good to have, a lot of good conversation and chatting back and forth and everything. Great. It's really great to know all the people that watch and, what they like and all that stuff too. It's really great. Thanks, Matt. Absolutely for coming on again. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Love having talks like this. Other than that, I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays and take that extra one day off that you got, and if you can, and just relax for a while and get things off your mind and have fun.
Yeah. Timmy,
because screw 2020, right? No.
Yeah.
It's been a rough year for everybody. First off, foremost, always want to thank Matthew for coming on the show. He's one of our repeats, and I love his spirited conversation, and he sets the tone for exactly how a lot of us are feeling. But we're hoping that he lit a match under a few asses tonight as well. Yeah. But, keep your head on a swivel. Keep listening to what's going on in the industry. If you need to find out information, we got plenty of resources like CASA that we talk about. Their calls to action are already out there. Get on Twitter. Get on Twitter and start following some people. There's always articles and lots of good commentary from people who are advocates in the industry. And that's where it's going to benefit you if you want to get the latest, greatest information that's going on. And if you want to yell and scream at a few politicians, they're legit on there, right? It's not like Facebook where they're got some admin sitting there typing their messages for them. So that said, I just want to wish everyone a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving, and just keep trucking. Vape on, vape strong. We'll see you next week.
Keep trucking.
I just want to say thank you guys for having questions too. Believe it or not, I actually enjoy answering questions because I can go on tirades and just completely lose all track of thought. The questions like keep me glued. So I can try to stay on topic of each question.
We were just going to open the show and go, welcome to Wednesday Night Live. Matthew, go.
There have been shows that I've been on where that has happened before.
Hey, man, we love having your answers. Your answers were so good tonight. And I mean, we love having, great discussions where we can ask a question and it devolves into something completely else. I mean, that's us. That's perfect.
And I'm really happy that no one pointed out my alfalfa sprout. Everybody completely missed that part, but that's okay.
You're just be lucky you got hair up there.
Dude, I'm your hair farm, bro. I know Matthew's got long hair too. So.
I shave the sides and the back now. So
that's right. Hey, you're still in the clique. You're good.
Got it.
You're still part of the club. You're still part of the cool.
You're in the clique.
Part of the cool. You're still part of the cool club. I want to thank Matthew. I think he is the leader in the most returned guests because I think he's number one right now. I think he's been on the most of any of our guests.
4, I think.
Yeah, you're a man. We love having you. I don't know as far as how much you want me to talk about, but I want to say prayers to you, Matthew, and what you've got coming up, and I hope things work out for you. And if that you're gonna have that surgery, and
we will find out probably.
So good thoughts
for 2nd. I'll find out if I'm
for Matthew. Hopefully things go well for you, and we appreciate it. Maybe you'll come and do a post surgery show.
I mean, shit. I'll be like in bed. I'll get one of those like swingable arms that hold the laptop, and I'll just be like posted up in the bed, just being like, "What's up, guys?"
Wait a minute.
Don't mind me. I'm on like 5 different medications right now.
That's what I was gonna say. I said, let's all just imagine Matthew on all these drugs.
No, that's a horrible idea. There is no filter. I will divulge shit that should not be just. No,
we need
never
to get
mind.
A Zamplebox unboxing from Matt while he's pent up.
No filter and a time warp.
You will get on the internet.
I give an honest review for everything I try. I had this when I was working at VapeWorks. I used to do live feeds when I got new stuff in to try. And I'm so brutally honest with shit because, first off, I'm probably one of the most picky motherfuckers out there because I make my own e-liquid. I used to work for a company, so I know how to make e-liquid. And I have certain flavors that I love. So people would send stuff to the shop, and it sucks when they're like the nicest people in the world, and I'm vaping it, and I'm just going... Ugh. Bullshit. I'm throwing the bottle across the fucking shop on camera, or I'm taking Lucille and smashing the bottle to bits.
And you're like picking it out like specific things. You're like, oh, Capella's blueberry, big mistake.
No. I don't do that. I don't do that. But it would be just so bad because I remember I did it, and this really awesome guy sent me stuff, and turns out, he's one of my friends and everything now. But like when he originally sent it to me, it was like, I don't know. And then finding out it was him, I was like, oh, dude, I trashed that so bad. He's like, yeah, you did. But I didn't really have a following back then, so it wasn't like I destroyed you.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, if you need to get a hold of Tim on the show, you can use that email address there. If you want to send him some of those links for news articles.
Absolutely. I'm always willing to report on stuff.
Tim, definitely join that group too.
Yeah, and I'm definitely joining that group. And Bill, definitely join us again, man. You had great input in the comments, man.
Bill, I sent you a DM.
His profile picture is awesome.
My name is John Troncali. So if you see it in your Facebook DMs, that's me. I'd like to get a hold of you and have a little talk with you. Okay, my outro, If you're new to the Zamplebox channel, please hit the subscribe button below and look for that little bell down in the bottom right-hand corner. That'll let you guys know when there's new content that's been uploaded to the channel. We're on every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Zamplebox YouTube. And Anthony is going to give you the other times for the show. He's ready.
6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means it's 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Central Time, and 9 p.m. East Coast Time. If you're in any other time zone, feel free to Google it.
Well, we actually need a wall behind him with all the time zones on it.
With all the time.
I should bring in a whiteboard next week with different clocks.
Just have a whole bunch of clocks on there with all the different Tokyo time in Tokyo. All right, guys, thank you. Great show. Thank you to all our viewers tonight in the comments. We appreciate them. We love
You're the man,
them.
Matt.
Thank you again, Matthew. Good luck with everything. You're in my prayers, brother. And that's our show.